Hey folks, so we got this lens for the Fujifilm X mount, and it is 7artisans 27mm F2.8, and I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I want to share with you guys my impressions of this lens. I've used this lens before for the Sony E mount, and I want to share with you guys my impression for the Fujifilm X mount. So let's go. Starting with the build quality. So I think this lens is built quite well. It's all metal construction. It has autofocusing. There is no aperture ring though. It does have a focusing ring. It's quite small, but this 28mm lens is not as small as some other third-party lenses out there. It's probably one of the bigger 27mm lenses from what I've used, which is like the TT Artisans 27mm and also the Viltrox chips lens as well. This lens does not have rubber gasket seal. However, it's expected due to the price. At the side of the lens, you do have the USB-C port right here. You just gotta remove the plastic, the rubber cap, and then there it is. That is it. I would much rather it be in the back of the mount than here, because my explanation is this rubber thing right here, it can perhaps fall off. This thing can so easily be lost, if anything. Another thing is, like, I live in an area where, you know, I live by the coast of the Algarve, so there's beaches, there's rain, there's also sand. So when it's windy, you can get sand in there. It's just a big mess. So I rather it be at the back of the mount instead of here. That's just my only concern, because it offers more protection that way. Even though it's a bigger 27mm lenses compared to the other competitors out there, I still find it to be small and compact. But it's nowhere as compact as the Viltrox chips lens out there. The Viltrox chip has an aperture of an f4.5, and it is fixed, and you can't stop it down or you can't open it wider. This lens, however, it can go as wide as f2.8. So if you guys are, you know, into like making your background blurry or something a little bit faster for, you know, low light situations, this could be the lens to get. I was taking it around in the Algarve trying to get some sample photos for you guys, and I thoroughly enjoyed using this lens. Now, I've used this lens before on the Sony E mount, and I had fun using it around that time as well. And one of the reasons why I enjoy using this lens so much is because this lens is surprisingly sharp. I was expecting it to be a bit softer. The center, I find it to be quite sharp. However, it does have some vignetting at f2.8. The 27mm focal length is an equivalent to a 40mm full frame lens, making it a great everyday carry lens that you can take for walks. I was trying to use this lens minimum focusing distance, which is at 40 centimeters, and combine that with a wide aperture of f2.8. I can get some decent bokeh with this lens, and it did quite well. It doesn't look as smooth as an f1.4, but for some of you guys, this is more than acceptable, and I kind of like the way it looks. When you take a look at this picture right here of this flower, you get to see what I mean. The background is pretty blurry at f2.8, and the flower is quite sharp. I was using my Fujifilm X-S20, and once you zoom in a bit, you can see the details, the fine strands from the flower, the plant, and the flower petals as well. I think the sharpness at close focusing distance is great on the 27mm lens. The lens does have a flaring problem, and I find it to look distracting. So it just depends on where the light hits on this lens. But, and again, this is just something to be mindful of when you're using this lens. And when it comes to purple fringing or like chromatic aberrations, I haven't seen any, especially at f2.8. It's only in extreme cases when I zoom into 200% where I do see a little bit of it. Otherwise, it performs very well. It's well controlled. Now, when it comes to the autofocusing, I find it to be quite snappy when there's ample lighting involved. The autofocusing does get loud when it gets down to like dimly lit situations when there's not much lighting in the room. This lens is coming in at 129 bucks. It's a fairly well-priced autofocusing lens. If you guys are looking for something, you know, a bit fun, the lens is sharp at f2.8. It's a focal length that is great for, you know, everyday carry, walk around street photography lens. It's quite small and compact. I had fun using this lens. I think the images that I got looks terrific, looks sharp. And if you're interested in this lens, I'll leave the links down in the description below. So let me know, what are your thoughts on this lens? Consider subscribing for more lens review content, and thanks so much.